MEAC. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won. I hope my team they won. Yeah, man. I hope my team they won. I hope my team they won. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, and we have some of the other gentlemen joining us today. One other than Wilton Jackson II. You know what he does when he joins us, so he brings it. With that being said, I want to say welcome to episode 842 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports for institutions large, small, from NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. In short, we just call it HBCU sports pedagogy. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta, along with my co-host, Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. We're filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to KCOH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, that's multi-Hall of Famer Ralph Hooper, in a beautiful home at Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. With that being said, let's open it up, bring everybody on board, and then I'm going to shift and give my moment to open things up to Charles Bishop.
Oh, sure thing, Doc. And unfortunately, we open things up today on a very somber note as former Jackson State University defensive back Levi Wyatt passed away due to injuries suffered in an automobile accident over the weekend. Wyatt was used on defense and special teams in his lone season at Jackson State in 2025, helping Jackson State to the Southwestern Athletic Conference SWAC East Division Championship. He finished the season playing in all 12 games, recording 12 tackles, including 9 solo. He also recorded 4 pass breakups before his time at Jackson State. He started at McNeese State, where he was a 2024 All-Southland Conference second teamer and was named to the 2024 Phil Steele All-Southland Conference team, where he played in 12 games during that season, recording 33 tackles, 23 of them solo. Of course, he began his high school career at Vicksburg before concluding his career at Holmes County Central. And this was a statement from Jackson State football. The bond of this brotherhood does not end when the game clock expires. Today, we mourn the loss of our brother, Levi Wyatt. His memory will forever live within the halls of Jackson State football and in the hearts of everyone who shared this journey with him. We ask the Tiger Nation to join us in lifting his family and his loved ones in prayer during this incredibly difficult time. Rest easy, Tiger. So with that said, I want to take a brief moment of silence here in the memory of Levi Wyatt. Thank you, Doc, for opening up with this tribute here to Levi Wyatt.
Most definitely, certainly understand how these are difficult and challenging times in many different ways, although we often try to have the best of times and do what we do in the spirit of supporting everybody in a very positive way. But now that Wyatt has become an ancestor, we certainly wanted to recognize him in this moment. The Jackson State fan base, university, particularly his teammates and coaches, as well as the SWAC and HBCU family as well. With that, let's get back into it. We're going to play a video, and then I'll get a chance to ask how you all are doing. On the other side of this video, there was an announcement that turned some heads. Let's see what we got here.
Every journey starts somewhere. My journey just happened to start here, on this campus, in these classrooms. This university challenged me. It shaped me, and it prepared me for the road ahead.
Great universities don't just educate, they develop leaders, they create opportunity, they inspire what's possible.
From cybersecurity and systems engineering to delivering technology solutions that support critical missions, innovation has always been at the heart of what we do. Today, it is that same spirit of innovation that brings us right back home to invest in the place that first invested in me.
The strongest partnerships aren't built on a logo, they're built on a shared vision, a vision that opens doors, create opportunities, and inspires the next generation.
When people see this, I don't want them to just see a company. I want them to see possibilities.
When innovation
meets excellence,
powered by Omni2 Max Incorporated,
the future starts now. And as always, go Bulldogs!
When innovation, boy, I tell you, that's big time commercial. Shout out to Alabama A&M University Athletics Program, Dr. Paul Bryant, being the first one, HBCU wise, FCS one of the first ones, if not, to get a patch deal done, reportedly for $250K, pretty significant amount. Before we get into some serious thoughts, I did want to give you something to smile about. Many of you all that follow our shows follow the network, Black College Sports Network, which means that you follow Brian and AD of Sports Rap on Sunday.
I wonder if he saw that commercial that you just played there, Doc.
It wouldn't matter. He's going to die on that hill. He's going to die on the hill. They were just doing a natural thing in discussion, and Brian decided that he was come up. He had a little banter about his framework of the deal and how FAMU was going to do this and that, which in itself was not a big deal, Charles. You know, obviously some folks can kind of see it one way, but as the discussion got going, he was trying to explain himself, and in this case, he didn't do a very good job. He dug what you call a hole, and you know, everybody, AD Drew, his friends were texting him. They were texting me. I'm talking about HBCU legacy folks. I mean, from high-level folks to just folks that are doing high-level things but just have fun in terms of this world of doing the show. They were like, stop. It got so bad, even I decided to get in on it. I was like, where's the towel? Where's the towel? Throw in the towel. Throw in the towel. Please stop. So, again, if you want something to have some fun at, Brian's a good dude. I called him afterwards, and he still don't recognize. Then he did realize. I said, you got to go back and watch it. And it was
segment 3.
One of the top three of all time where you just want to die on the hill. And you're like, that's not the hill to die on, bro. So, with that side out of it, let me get all of y'all quick thoughts just in terms of the pride that you heard that we got our own deal in terms of, obviously, maybe not your institution, but SWAC, HBCU, and just the business side, more importantly, that the deal was done for some significant amount of cash, $250,000. Wilton, I'll let you start.
Personally, I think it's a good thing. I think that it's the start of something that could be better. Obviously, we're going to probably see more schools now that Alabama A&M has done it. We're going to see more schools, specifically from the SWAC and MEAC programs, try to do the same thing. And so, at the end of the day, like, it's not where, how can I say this? You appreciate that they have it, but at the same time, it could be more, and obviously, you would want more. And so, I think it's a good start.
It's fascinating with so many people that think it could be more. And I'm not sure how many people have really done the homework. On the show, Brian was trying to come out of the coffer talking about the same thing, that he wanted to do more. And he had a spreadsheet of all these different deals. But when you broke the spreadsheet down in terms of deals per sports, they were all around like 500, 400, 250. And these were FBS programs. One of them was Ohio State.
Yeah.
So even AD Drew said, I don't know if you want to go there either, because that was a significant amount of the deal. So I don't know. And I keep trying to tell everybody this point, and this is just a business part. It's easy to say that you can get a better deal, but a deal is only at the value that a company wants to sign it. So even if you have a better value, you're a bigger brand, if you want to call yourself that, top three, we'll put it out there, FAMU, Jackson State, Southern, whatever. If there's no company that wants to do a deal with you, even though your value may be $200, $300, $400, $400K, it doesn't matter, because nobody wants to write the check. So even if somebody don't want to write a $100K check, it doesn't matter what that value is. And so that's also what I was trying to tell them. You may be actually correct with every fact that you're putting out there, that if they get this, we should get this. But if there's not a company in Tallahassee, Florida, or a relationship that somebody can bring to the table for your AD, it doesn't matter what your value is, because you're not getting a penny for it if no company wants to write a check to you for that. So that's why I was like, not saying they're true that there's levels to this, but I don't think people understand that deals are based not just on what you perceive your own value or what it is calculated to be. It's also what the company is willing to pay you for that value. Charles, any thoughts?
I think the innovation part. Anytime you're the first HBCU, hats off, kudos to Dr. Bryan in terms of what they were able to get done at Alabama A&M, and it started making me think, what are the other opportunities in terms of what other space can you sell? When I look at the coaches' headsets, I'm taking a look at, who's on the side of the headsets, what other space is it, with regards to this game day environment or the uniform itself can you sell? So it just made me start wondering about what are the other opportunities as well.
And you can have two patches. This was a debate for a lot of folks, and I jumped into it and found out it started with the Big 12. Not to give them overdone, but they got one that was a conference deal. And then some of the members in the conference got the deal. And I was like, how are they going to deal with that? Because in my mind, I was thinking do one patch. The guy I was working with looked it up. In the rules, you can actually have two patches. So this works particularly when you talk about your bowl games or your championship games and stuff like that, where you put those patches on there, it still has the room that you have the one patch. So it works in that framework too. So that's significant when you think about that. Drew, I'll let you close it up since you experienced this live.
Yeah, well, you can get my deep thoughts on this by going back and going to segment 3 of Sunday night's BCS and Sports. Right?
You got to watch it. Wilton, you got to go watch it. Then you'll understand why I said, hold on. Yeah. I ain't going to let you go there with it.
Yeah. That, for everybody who wasn't watching, that was 100% organic. We had the topic on our topic sheet. We had a couple of general notes, but how that conversation took off unscripted, I did not know Bryant was going to take a stand like that on that issue. Did not, everything was done based on just the notes that I had and my up here, and of course being able to quickly do math on the head when I saw all those numbers come up on the screen. And then the magic word is across all 36 sports, 17 million across all 36 sports. That's just under $500,000. Don't take a math genius to figure that out per sport when you do the average. Anyway, getting back to that, Charles, to answer your question, the next space since Alabama A&M has broken ground on the patch is the on-field logo, which you can now do at the FCS and Division II level. So that answers your question. That is the next space to be explored by our HBCUs. Who's going to be the first to do that, and what's that value going to be?
Yep,
and this kind of goes to what Wilton is. We now have a baseline, Wilton. Yeah, somebody ultimately will get more than Alabama A&M. Yeah. And somebody will get less than Alabama A&M. And we will probably find out after all these deals get signed, Alabama A&M is right there in the middle of that bell curve. We all in education, and we know that sweet spot, the bell curve that we have to that we deal with and everything. So that's what we're gonna find out from Alabama A&M. But until somebody steps out there on faith, like Dr. Paul Bryant and Alabama A&M Bulldogs did, we don't know, good, bad, or ugly, what this deal is. We had no numbers to base this on, because we can't compare we really can't compare this to Ohio State, to Michigan, and to Illinois, and even some of the lower level non-power conference deals and everything. So let's just let this play out, everybody. Let's be patient, and let's praise the man who took advantage of the rules as they are written and created a revenue stream for his program that they did not have 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Good stuff. Next one I will do is, you're right, the on-field spacing is an interesting next field. We've seen that before in the SWAC with the games that Charles has put together, where they use some of the sponsors, if you would, of the conference, and they do like a SWAC game of the week. He's did it with Jackson State a couple of times, and you've seen where they had the logos on the field with the gyms and those logos. So
but those
that is kind of be there. Yeah, but this is the next level about how do you do it for a season or for a game. So that's interesting. We've seen the conference do this in terms of individual rights. We've seen that with, again, Jackson State, Ashley Robinson, with their classic game they've done with Tuskegee, now Edward Waters, where they've got a sponsor for that. We see that with the Labor Day Classic this year with a sponsor. And if we go back a little bit, we have seen the naming rights of a stadium. One case, North Carolina A&T, $1.5 million over 15 years. It's $100,000 a year. While a lot of folks were questioning about that deal, we haven't seen anybody else with the stadium naming rights. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Sometimes these deals may seem easier than they are for folks to really get them done. So those are the bridges that I'm talking about. It'll be interesting to see, can somebody leverage this and get the next deal. Last thing I want to do before we take our first break, before we get into these top three schedules for the next three segments, I did want to acknowledge MEAC Commissioner Sonja Steele Inc.'s contract extension. This is big news, and the consistency there for all four conferences have seen their ADs. I guess we're looking at maybe the SIC next. We'll see what that looks like. But on this one, MEAC announced today Commissioner Sonja Steele has agreed to a 5-year contract extension that will keep her at the helm of the conference through 2031. Quote, Commissioner Steele has been a steadfast advocate for our student athletes, championship excellence, not only in competition, but also in academics, leadership, and personal development, end quote, said Dr. Adams Gaston, president of Norfolk State. Quote, her collaborative approach, strategic vision, and dedication to elevating the MEAC has strengthened our conference and reinforced its proud tradition of excellence. We're grateful for her partnership and look forward to continuing our work together to create transformative opportunities for our students, enhancement in national profile of the MEAC, and build on the conference's remarkable legacy, end quote. Fascinating when you think about a couple of years ago when several teams left the conference. People are ready to put the MEAC in its tombstone, and it's rolling, doing just fine. So a lot of credit has to go to Commissioner Sonja Steele during that turbulent period for the MEAC. So congratulations, Conference Commissioner Sonja Steele of the MEAC, really getting it done. Excited. I always have a good partnership and information talking with her. Let's take our first break. Come back on the other side, see any final comments you may have, and then we're going to get into our three schedules. We'll do it from the SWAC. We're going to start with the West, with Prairie View, since they won the conference championship 2025. We'll do the top three. Predicted order of finish was Prairie View, Grambling, and Alcorn. We'll proceed through that the rest of the week. So you'll see the next three on Thursday out of the West. And then we'll head to the Big Bad East Division next week, Tuesday and Thursday. So we'll kind of roll this out. We will give some love to the MEAC following week as we really get hyped and get closing up. We'll look at the MEAC, and then we'll get a chance to look at a couple of Division II before it's time to put toe to leather. And then we can get talking about the games of the week and then the following week games and matchups that you look to come. Let's take our first break and come back on the other side.
Introducing the HBCU Trivia Game. It's more than a board game. It's a journey to the legacy of historically black colleges and universities. Here's how it works. 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, start as freshmen and roll the dice to advance. But here's the twist. You can only move forward by answering trivia questions about HBCU. Test your knowledge of notable alumni, key historical events, sports milestones, and fun HBCU facts. Watch out for spaces that can propel you ahead or set you back. And if you get a question wrong, you stay put until your next turn. The first to reach graduation wins! The HBCU Trivia Game. Support, educate, entertain! Available now. Let the journey begin.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
Football fans, HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Register your business for the premier urban business directory in the country, the Urban Passport. Visit myjbn.com/passport. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Orange Blossom Classic. South Carolina State Bulldogs versus the FAMU Rattlers. September 6th, Labor Day weekend, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. You don't just want to watch it, you want to feel it. The sound of the bands, the energy in the stands, and the pride on every play. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Built on history, fueled by pride.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
The right way, and I don't want you to be surprised. I don't want you to be surprised at the result. We're not gonna chase the result, but I don't want you to be surprised at what we're gonna be. Sometimes, man, teams get together and they're surprised in the beginning on what they became in fall camp, and they miss a moment. I don't want this collective to miss any moment. Just put your head down and work, man, and believe me. We are no longer a 60-minute football team. That's not what we play. We play however long it takes. You understand me on that? We don't play for 60 minutes anymore. Might be 60, might be 90 one day. Never know. So we're going to stop saying we play for 60 minutes. We play however long it takes for us to get on yourself. That's you versus you. Did I play hard? I might have made a mistake. My coach might tell me something that I need to do. But did I play hard? Did I play to a level that I'm satisfied with? If you got called out here, it's because that's what I thought about you. No secret. One thing we're going to do is keep it a buck situation where we're going to out-program. And that's the direction that we go. If we can get that done, man, you're more talented than you sat here before. You're talented. We got some guys that can catch that thing, run that thing, tackle that thing, cover that thing. We got some guys that can do all that. But none of that matters if you don't play hard and you don't play the way that we play. None of that.
Coach looking a little spelt, Doc.
Yeah, he didn't got in the gym. I guess he's still not eating after that loss. Celebration ball presented by Toyota last year. I like when he said that. He ain't talking about the 60 minutes. He said, whatever it takes.
We got to be ready to go overtime.
Yeah. He's
4 of them to be exact.
He said, that will not happen again.
4.
He said,
maybe more.
Exactly. Whatever it takes. I was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I get the message, Coach. I get the message. Go ahead. Let's pull up the schedule. Talking about the Prairie A&M Panthers. They are projected to be number 1. Go ahead, AD.
I was going to ask a question. When we went to break, we was talking about Sonja Steels. I had a question and a comment. Well, actually, yeah, a question and a comment. My comment first is, I think it's purposeful that Sonja Steels' contract extension coincides with the ESPN media rights deal. I don't know if people caught that correlation. Both of those are through the 31 season. So that's my comment. Now my question is, I know McClellan just signed a contract extension. How does her extension, as far as years, go in relation to his extension? Because I don't remember what his was through.
I hate to say this live, so I don't remember. Because I don't remember it's 32 or 35.
That's why I couldn't remember what his was through. I was just wondering, were they on the same timeline or different timelines?
Charles so smooth with it though. He be sneaking out extension. He may not even put it out there at times. He's different with it. All right, let's get back to the schedule. Good stuff, Drew. When we talk about it, man, this is the 12th game. Has put this Labor Day Classic, the second game on the schedule. You'll see that both for Texas Southern and Prairie View. Texas Southern schedule we'll talk about on Thursday as they were predicted, or the 4th. So this one has Tarleton, a top 15 program, top 10 in some rankings there. On the road, to be interesting there. And then you got the Labor Day Classic. It's always fun. It's meant a lot lately. Last year, went down to the last play, and would you know it, it decided ultimately on the last play the last standing at the end of the year in terms of who would win the division. Then you got that old FBS game where you play Baylor, Stephen F. Austin, another FCS top 15 program. And then you get into that conference slate, if you would, for the most part. You have Grambling State Fair Classic, Mississippi Valley on the road. Mississippi Valley has had some problems with Prairie View a couple of years. I know Mike don't like to hear it. He said it's just Valley, but they have done FAMU number to PV as well. You got Southern, and Southern thinks Prairie View is their home stadium. They have had that series has been intriguing, where the road team has won the last couple of games in both of those matchups for a while. In fact, I don't think Prairie View has beaten Southern in the stadium there since they opened the new one. I might be wrong about that. That's just off the top of my head. The Braves come down there, and they've had some success. Then you go non-conference game in the middle of the season, October 24th, another FCS program in the state of Texas. So, interesting matchup there. Alabama A&M. Is that the new revised Alabama A&M? Remember, Prairie View started putting all those points up on the road in Huntsville at the end of the season last year, seemed like, against Alabama A&M. Mm-hmm. You have the Golden Line. How that went last year. And then the last one, fascinating in so many ways, is on the road. Prairie View, Alabama State. Could this be a championship game preview? Whether that's reversal with Prairie View playing at home against Alabama State, or could it be just 2 weeks between where Prairie View travels back to Alabama State. I know Jackson over there and Alabama A&M for that matter, like, hold on. We got something to say about that. And even Bethune-Cookman says us on the Daytona Beach have something to say about the East as well. But we're talking about Prairie View now. So I'm going to go with you, Charles. What are your thoughts in terms of the schedule? What comes to mind for you?
What comes to mind is the home schedule. You got a lot of people coming into Prairie View this upcoming season. When you start taking a look at it, Texas Southern, rival, comes to PV. You got Southern comes to PV. You got Alcorn comes to PV. Alabama A&M comes to PV. So you take care of home. That takes care of a lot of headaches. And then the thing that steps out, I think, huge with Prairie View is the level of physicality that they have turned into. Last season was a head turner for me because they played much more physical than the Prairie View than I've seen over the past few years. And then you have a running back like Chase Bingham. You got a shutdown corner, Eric Zachary. All the elements are in place for another title run.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm going to go to you, AD Drew. Your thoughts in terms of schedule, what comes to mind for you?
Wow. I agree with Charles. They do have a very favorable conference schedule. What concerns me is, and when I say favorable conference schedule, no Jackson State, no FAMU, no Bethune-Cookman this year. So some of the better opponents in the East you will not see. Yes, you do have an Alabama State. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Alabama A&M is expected to be improved, and then you have the team that just will muck up your season. That's the M, everybody. Muck up your season. Valley out the East. So it's there, and traveling to Itabena, anything can happen. I don't expect it to, but going to Itabena, don't put anything past the Delta Devils there. But what concerns me are those those 3 non-conference games at the start of the season, with the fourth one being in October and everything. But that's a tough September for Prairie View, and by the time they get to that State Fair Classic, there may be a lot of questions asked, or Prairie View gonna start making their plans for Atlanta already. Because if they come out of that stretch 3-1 in September, going into the State Fair Classic, everybody's already gonna be talking about Atlanta.
Very much so.
Again, they come out 1-3, everybody's gonna start questioning the sophomore slump.
Yeah, good questions, good points. Let me go to you, Wilton. Before you get your own thoughts, riddle me this, since AD brought it up. Can Prairie View get any of those FCS non-conference games? And if so, how many?
Right now, not knowing everything about Prairie View, there's a possibility for one, and it won't. I don't think it comes on the first week of the season, just because I think Tarleton State is going to really be a strong, talented team amongst FCS programs. They had
to give you some pointers for folks who may not realize. Tarleton, for whatever people think this may be, is they had the highest number of FBS transfers that came down.
Yep.
In terms of their program, they are pushing for that FBS invite, so they're doing a lot of those things, and so they were ranked number 1 in terms of overall FCS recruiting classes. Go ahead, Wilton, continue.
Yep. So I don't see them beating Tarleton State. Definitely not Baylor. So their best case is Stephen F. Austin, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about the Baylor one, but East Texas was the other.
Yeah, I think. Well, in the beginning of the season, I was considering Stephen F. Austin's. I definitely think that they can win the non-conference in October, in my opinion. Oh. What concerns me, though, is maybe not necessarily concern. I look at it on both sides. If they come out of this 1-3, but the games aren't I can say this: the PV Baylor game probably will be a blowout. Tarleton State most likely will be probably a blowout as well. But depending on how they play, it could also help them to gel faster, in my opinion, by the time they get to conference play, because you played these tougher opponents, right? So, and you know what Tremaine Jackson is always talking about, making sure his guys are physical, making sure they're well prepared. Obviously, he's bringing in 50 new players into the program. So it's just like, okay, you've played these tougher games. How much more prepared are you going to be now that you're entering SWAC play? So honestly, the beginning of the season, I think, is the stepping stone to basically put Prairie View in a position to be competitive. But I think the real issue for me in their schedule that concerns me is October, when they get to Southern and Alcorn, and then that back half of the schedule, in my opinion. What we all know
that's some nice back-to-back games.
Yeah, the West gets crazy. So it's just like we don't really know. We know Southern won't be as bad as they were last year, in my opinion. And you have an Alcorn team, again, you never know which Alcorn you're going to get. The beginning of the season, we saw Alcorn, they looked terrible. But at the back half of the season, we saw Alcorn look much better than what they did. So if this is a Prairie View team that's not ready to come out and play, although both of these games are at Prairie View, those are the two games I'm probably watching the most.
Yeah, that's some good points you're making there. Yeah, you would hope the Southern, or some people would hope the Southern's not as bad as they are last year. That's hard to duplicate that.
And I'm not.
I mean, how good they are may be another question. But to your point, they're both at home. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, I mean, and the Stephen F. Austin game, that's one I'm not ready to concede.
I agree.
I could see them being 2 and 3 coming out of this. But sometimes we make a boogeyman when there doesn't have to be a boogeyman. I remember when everybody did the boogeyman thing when Jackson State played Campbell, and
I thought about that too.
Yeah, so this kind of reminds me
top 25.
That same type, top 25, conference champion type, but a SWAC team can knock off a good SWAC team can knock off another good FCS team.
Yeah, and that's their first game, so Tarleton's going to be trying to fix things and see how it flows. If you get things going, that is a game that you can find yourself. But as AD said, and what you're alluding to as well, Charles, if you find a way to get that game, play well in it, folks will start being like, ooh, hold on, what are they doing down there at Prairie View in the water for real? With that being said, we'll take our next break. Wilton will have to get out of here. I promised him he could have some time early. That we don't do that usually for the show, but this time I'll let Wilton make it. So we'll be back on the other side after this break, but Wilton will be doing his own thing. One of these.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Do you own a business, have a service or product, apparel, entertainment, or food? Would you like to reach an educated client base that are loyal? Then the Urban Passport Business Directory is for you. The Urban Passport is your premier digital discount and media portal with the Urban Digital Television Networks and V1085 radio properties embedded. Stay connected with the community with the latest news, entertainment, and HBCU sports and culture with the Black College Sports Network. Visit myjbn.com/passport to register your business and sign up for your free app before the August 24th release date. We are the premier digital national urban business directory, always free to the consumer. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book and your digital passport to a world of savings. Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU
football fans. HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for fan jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want a law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. As we get back into it, I wanted to make sure that we acknowledged on the previous segment, and you'll see this again the next couple of weeks. These schedules are courtesy of HBCU Central Network. You can go to Instagram and follow them. We are partnering on some projects. They do graphic design. And if you need some pop on your design out there, check them out. They have that young twist to it that we can't always do while you can get your talent. And you have AD Drew. He does some good graphic design work as well. But if you want to youngify it, as they say, check them out at HBCU Central Network. They do some great work. You've seen some of their work we pulled in with Ja. We recruited him, and he's partnering with them on some stuff as well. But these young individuals, I should say, are very talented. And when I get a chance to push somebody, that's where I am, and I will always find a way to get that done. I love collaboration. I love partnerships. We got to find a way to do more of that. With that being said, let's bring it up. Predicted order of finish for the SWAC West, number 2 was Grambling. That is Grambling State University. Interesting schedule here, if I may add. Let me go through the list. As you can see, they start out with Clark Atlanta Panthers. You know how I feel about Clark Atlanta. Previous coach allowed us to have some fun on his half, and he talked about the rat poison. Before you know it, he went down to Bethune-Cookman and got an upset there and got him a FCS Division I win. Well, guess what? Previous head coach Bethune-Cookman is over there leading the Clark Atlanta Panthers, getting it done. AD can't smile during this segment because it is his rival over there from Morehouse. So
beat they butt. They play us the next week. I want you to beat them all down.
I told you. Central State, another Division II out of the SIAC. The SIAC has a chance to make a little bit of statement. We'll see.
Grambling might be in first place in the SIAC after Labor Day.
Exactly. Then they got to go up. They go up and play TCU, a Big 12 program there. Similar to Prairie View playing Baylor. Interesting. 2 private schools that are rivals against each other. Out of the Big 12, face off against SWAC schools. And then we have the Old State Fair Classic, 101 this year. Remember last year was 100, the big century mark, if you would. PVAM and Grambling. There's been some classic games over the last 10, 15 years. It'll be interesting to see. Prairie View has had Grambling's number late. Can Grambling Tigers turn it around? They sure would like that to be the case. Then you got a little homecoming over there in Grambling, and they pick up on Alcorn State. Those matchups are classic. Anybody don't know, obviously a lot of folks focus on that next game, which is also a classic with Jackson State. Well, they got the Mississippi boys back to back. One is East Division now, the Braves, the other one out of the East Division. So it'll be fascinating when you think about that. Charles, I'm sure, will have some comments. that's a house of horror for Jackson State, as he's taught me over the years. It's just weird things happen and hope. Can they turn that around?
Mm-hmm.
And Grambling has to go to Alabama A&M. If you were part of this league early on when the SWAC championship game was in Birmingham, well, there were some classic matchups defensively for Alabama A&M at that time and offensively for Grambling back in the days. Then they have an open week, off as some people put it. You have October 31st, where Grambling goes to Texas Southern. Those have been some interesting matchups over the year. I know one year I had a chance when they took it to San Antonio and moved that game. Had a fan at Texas Southern University. You could tell he was on that oil, Charles.
Yeah.
He was hyped. Texas Southern jumped out of that game, would lead them. He was talking about, man, take it from him. Take it from him. Take it from him. It's a loaf of bread. I was like, what do you do? And it turned around off of one long pass play. He got quiet, kind of sat in his chair. Next thing I know, he was asleep. Funniest thing I've seen in a while. You got UAPB at Grambling. Quintessential Western Division matchup, there you say. And Grambling takes a long trip to Daytona Beach against Bethune-Cookman. And then you have one of the biggest, baddest ones out there is the Bayou Classic. Southern Grambling, and we say this a lot of times with Rob, you can take the score out of it, but this one we literally saw last year. Southern, well, even a lot of their fans thought they had no chance, although they wanted it. Well, they got it done. Got it done. I happened to be there with Deuce. First time I got to take him to see the State Fair Classic, and we got to do a little Bayou Classic ourselves. It was good. It was good. With that being said, Charles, you kind of said, on a couple of games out there. Thinking that, yeah.
It's a rough schedule. I mean, you take a look, Prairie View, State Fair Classic. You get Alcorn for homecoming. You are the favorites against Jackson State.
Hey, who does that?
Man, I mean, Mickey Joseph got his extension, and this is how he's repaid. Goodness, gee, weird. Man. But I mean, it's year 3 for Mickey Joseph. So I figure I keep saying Grambling don't stay down for long. I can't say that anymore. It was that last year was their first winning season since 2017. So they've got to. It's got to happen this year. But you take a look at that little 4-game stretch: Prairie View, Alcorn, Jackson State, then on the road at Alabama A&M. I can't. That could easily go 1-3. That could be a tough little stretch there. You know, at best, 2-2. And then you've lost to Texas Southern 2 years in a row. So you get a bye week and then you go on the road to Houston. So that's a tough 5-game stretch there. I can't see Grambling getting out of that too well.
Yeah, it's tough. Utah, I mean, I don't know how you ignore that. State Fair, you got the Mississippi. As I was going through it, I was like, I don't see just like games where you would say they would be favorite. I guess you say favorite in Alabama A&M, but that may be a tough one. Even at Daytona Beach. In those both games, that you probably would be favored. The part that's tough, they on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest one you got is Pine Bluff at Grambling. AD, help us out there. What do you think?
Okay. You got 2 get-right games at the start of the season to be able to figure things out.
True.
Before you play the Horned Frogs there.
And settle on a quarterback.
That's why you got those 2 get-right games to get the season rolling, to figure that out.
That's
okay.
True.
You play your people the first quarter against in that September 12th game. So you're probably going to come into the Prairie View game 2-1. You may actually come into that Prairie View game with a record better than your opponent. But
good point.
Will that necessarily mean that you're a better team than your opponent on that September 26th game? Just a food for thought on that one. Let's skip our way over to October 31st. Let's say Texas Southern actually gets that one extra play this year and beats Prairie View A&M.
Right.
Grambling is predicted to be second in the West. That would make that game on October 31st so doggone interesting. Should
Good point.
Texas Southern
Yes.
be in the driver's seat and have that tie break over Prairie View, that Grambling game becomes even that much more important. You know, obviously it just, even though we know Grambling is not going to fly to Daytona Beach, there is no easy route, even on a plane, from Grambling, Louisiana to Daytona, Florida. That means you bus it to like Dallas or to New Orleans, or you gotta take a minimum of a 2 to 3 hour bus ride just to get on the plane to fly probably to either Jacksonville or Orlando, and then bus back to Daytona. So that's one of those trips right there that's got just all kind of logistics that say not gonna be the best game for the Tigers. You know, that's one of those games that you could drop very easy just because of all the logistics that you have to do to travel to that one. So this is if Mickey Joseph can pull this one out, finish in the upper half, 5-3, 6-2 in conference, it's gonna look better on paper. You're gonna pick up 2. Matter of fact, didn't Grambling have a couple of NAIAs and D2 on their schedule last year? And then we figured out
they fought it out with Kentucky State.
Yeah. And one of them almost got them. So you know, this schedule is one of those. Our record will not be an indicator of our team. I'm not saying whether that's good or whether that's bad, but that's what this schedule says to me. My record will not be an indicator of what my team truly is.
That's a good point. That's a lot of good points there. Yeah, this was fascinating to me, boy. You're talking about, this is a tough schedule. I don't know how you get around it. Just if not just who you playing, but where you happen to play those games at, to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And where they fall in terms of concession behind each other. But if Grambling can get rolling and get it done, there's no question they're going to be good if that's the case coming out of this. Let's take our last break. We'll get to our third ranked team in terms of predictor order finish. We'll bring that back on the other side and discuss a little bit about the Braves schedule. We'll be right back after this last break.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Register your business for the premier urban business directory in the country, the Urban Passport. Visit myjbn.com/passport. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book.
The champs are here. 2 teams, 2 legacies, 2 championship-winning coaches on one stage. The 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. South Carolina State Bulldogs versus the FAMU Rattlers. September 6th, Labor Day weekend, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. You don't just want to watch it, you want to feel it. The sound of the bands, the energy in the stands, and the pride on every play. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Built on history, fueled by pride.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural taste, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
Football fans, HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Let's bring up the graphic, but before we do that, shout out to HB Central Network, reaching 1,000 followers on the Instagram page. They're getting it done. HBCU Central, as you see, they are providing us courtesy of the schedule. So let's get into the last schedule we'll talk about for today. The last segment, that is the Braves. Braves. Let's get into their schedule as they get going. Obviously, they had our predicted order finish number 3 in the West, but they want to end up at the top. Let's see what they got to do. They started off hosting Miles. This is a Miles team that feels like they're going to be improved. We've seen them over the years under various head coaches play teams really tough. They have had their time at the top of the SIAC to fall back last year, but now they travel to face the Braves on the reservation, so it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. Then you have a FBS matchup, G6 if you would, with Southern Miss that next weekend. Then you get a West Division matchup. This one is the new Southern Heritage Classic. This will be played in Memphis with Pine Bluff. Got it done last year, so left the ugly taste in the Braves' mouth, but I'm sure Golden Lion said that's what they plan to do again this year. Then we have a non-conference matchup. North Alabama, I believe that is, the Lions there. FCS matchup, so the Braves have to go on the road. This is a good opportunity. We've said this previously that Prairie View and Alcorn have consistently played FCS programs, and for the two schools, they have the tied in the FCS wins they've had over the years. Last year, I think Prairie View maybe pulled ahead with the victory they got last year. But fascinating when you talk about these two programs and what they have matched up against historically white colleges at the FCS level. Both teams are doing it again this year. Then you come back again, West Division play. We're going to know something about Alcorn in terms of West Division pretty early in this season, if you would. This time, they host Texas Southern. We saw earlier with the Grambling, they go on the road to Grambling, homecoming there. And then they play Arkansas Baptist. It's the NAIA program over there in the Sooner Athletic Conference with Langston and Texas College, for those that follow that to some degree. Then they're back in it for a West Division matchup again. So before we get too far into October, they've played 4 Western Division teams, Charles, by October 17th. Then they have their in-state foe, Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. That one is on the road. FAMU comes to Alcorn. Had happened in the SWAC. They went down to Tallahassee last year, and the Braves lost that contest. Played pretty well early, but Snakes got it done over there. Then you got that old rival right here, boy. This one has been classic over the last decade, if you would. It has been for the division crown in many cases. Alcorn has to go to the Bluff. Then you have that old nasty one on November 21st. This time they get the Tigers at home. We'll see what that means. Let me start out with you, AD Drew. What do you think about the Braves' schedule?
I'm gonna start off with the last game first, and Charles might remember this, but a lot of people don't remember this. There was a couple of plays in that game, the Capital City Classic, the Soul Bowl, whatever moniker you want to give to it last year, that really changed the outcome of the game. So you
Got a touchdown call back.
That's what I'm talking about. And if that touchdown stays on the board, that's a totally different ball game. There, everybody. So that's always throw the records out the window type ball game. Your three crossover games that you have with the Eastern Division. I like the fact that you have two of those three at home, and those two are against the perceived tougher of the three opponents and everything while traveling to Valley. I just talked all this crap about Grambling having two of my SWAC brethren on their schedule to open up the season. I think the only thing that's worse than that is having a SIAC team and then an NAIA team on your schedule throughout the season. All I can say is Alcorn, y'all better win them games, and y'all better win those games handily, because that's not gonna sit right with your people if those games are close. So got a good chance to come out of September 500 going to the last weekend in September, but interesting schedule. One last thing, I like the fact that they have Texas Southern at home. I really do like the fact that they have Texas Southern at home this year, because I think that's going to be a sneakily good game also. So I'm going to leave a little bit of meat for Charles on this one.
Charles, what you think? I know by October you're going to know where they are in the standing.
I think you touched on it. I mean, by October 17th, we're going to figure out whether Alcorn for real or not. Let me sprint to September 19th. North Alabama was 2-10 last season. I don't want to see people celebrating on their turf like what happened last year with Northwestern State. So, Alcorn, I'm putting pressure on you to get that done. Putting a lot of pressure on you. I want to see people storm the field. That something ain't set right with me about that. So, but back to the schedule. Man, it's looking at the schedules. It's not having the right games at home. Like you got a SWAC West game, but it's a neutral site game, Southern Heritage Classic. And we know UAPB, they fight you hard at the beginning part of the season. That's going to be a tough game, neutral site up there in Memphis. And then you got State Fair Classic. I'm sorry, not State Fair Classic, but you got Grambling at home or Grambling on the road. That's going to be tough dealing with Grambling on the road. And then Prairie View on the road. So I take a look at Grambling on the road and Prairie View on the road to kind of determine where I am with this Alcorn team this upcoming season. Valley's going to fight you tough, but that one's on the road. But I expect Alcorn to get that win. Where are you by when FAMU comes in? FAMU's not going to be in the mix this season with regards to the championship, but you got to fight it out before you head down to Southern. So yeah, it's a tough schedule to see where Alcorn could be within this pantheon in the SWAC West. But gosh, you got to get all the heavy lifting done before October 17th.
Exactly. I like the way you said heavy lifting, and it is exactly right. And they got so many key games, because you think about a division game is like 2 games. So essentially, they play 8 games in the first 4 when you think about what does it mean in the standings. That's amazing to me. I didn't realize with that Sheridan Heritage, you now have that Western Conference game really early in the season. September 12th. Good thing you do get to kick things off in terms of week 0 for a 12-week schedule. So it'll be fascinating. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how this 12-game schedule works itself out over the years as folks decide how they want to manage it even more. Certainly, you imagine folks are going to continue to play the 12th game, but that's something interesting there. Any final thoughts in terms of just in general, the holistic in terms of preseason top 3 teams there? Go ahead, AD Drew.
Isn't that Southern Heritage game a little bit earlier than it traditionally has been in the past? Because usually, isn't it the last weekend?
No, it's normally sometime up there in September. It's normally around that second week of September month, date in the month. So that's about par for the course in terms of what.
And probably what's throwing you off, Drew, is that was Jackson State, Tennessee State, so it was perfect because it was a non-conference game, so it could be early like that. But now it's a conference game. It just seems early to the point.
Yeah,
I always thought I remembered it like that third Saturday. Maybe like I say, maybe I'm off with week 0 added in there.
Yeah, it kind of throws things off.
These schedules is still a little bit off.
Yeah, that might be it
because of all this.
Yeah, good point. Great question. Any final thoughts from you, Charles?
I mean, when you take a look at these schedules, I mean, my goodness.
That's why I love doing it. The first year we jumped out of there and everybody was doing everything, and I got a chance to kind of break down the schedule. And he's like, "Man, I'm glad you look at it like that."
Prairie View has the right.
When you jumped out of there with the East in a lot of ways. So
yeah, Prairie View has the right games coming to Prairie View. So you would have to say on paper, I mean, that the road to the SWAC championship, they're already a good team, but it's literally going to go through Prairie View if you're over there in the SWAC West.
Yeah, I didn't think of much last year was SWAC. Coach Jackson, I thought certainly it'd be a breath of fresh air. But when I looked at the schedule, it concerned me. So this is the year. So they certainly were a year ahead of schedule, which says a lot when you win the championship a year ahead of schedule. But it does increase the expectation. But the good thing is this is the year schedule-wise with the division matchups. You got some games. But it'll be fascinating there. Drew?
Is it too early to do a bold prediction?
No. Bold prediction is yours.
Bold prediction. SWAC West champion will host the championship game this year.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair. I could see that this year just with the schedule we've seen so far. And to me, just the depth that you may see in that East Division.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be deeper.
Finally, with the West will win when it comes to hosting.
Be interesting to see who that is. Who will be the first team in the West to get it done. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. You hear the bold prediction, I should say, from AD Drew. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavil with the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Watson, Charles Bishop. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Watson and Charles Bishop every Tuesday and Thursday. So we'll be back on Thursday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. We'll go through 4, 5, and 6 of the Western Division and see what your thoughts are. We might switch it up. Maybe look at the East. Y'all tell us what y'all want to hear next. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil. That's Threads, Facebook, and Instagram, DrKenyattaCavil. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook. That's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big. Continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles?
Of course.
AD?
Lecture.
Dismiss.